So, tell me about when you were celebrating your 19th birthday.
December 7th, 1941. A month later, I was in the Marine Corps.
Your commentator is Joe O'Brien. On December 7th, 1941, Japan, like its infamous Axis partners, struck first and declared war afterwards. Costly to our Navy was the loss of war vessels, airplanes, and equipment, but more costly to Japan was the effectiveness of its foul attack in immediately unifying America in its determination to fight and win the war thrust upon it. And to win.
Well, I was not a real big party. Some of my friends were over, and my youngest sister went to the movies. She came home and said they interrupted a movie and said they'd bombed Pearl Harbor. And so I went down there, and I was recuperating from appendicitis. And back in those days, they kept you in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and then you stayed in your bed. It didn't get you up like they do now. And so I went down to the recruiter, and I says, "How soon after appendicitis it take you?" He says, "How long's it been?" I said, 6 weeks. "Anytime." I came home, my mother says, "What do you say?" He says, "I go anytime." Well, no way, you're not going till after the holidays. So January 7th, I joined the Marine Corps. And then, just as I was finishing boot camp, this outfit was forming. It had been the old 1st Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment, and they decided to call it the Raiders. Addison was the Colonel Addison. And so that's how I got into them. And 6 months after that, we were on Guadalcanal.
No armchair commander. Admiral Nimitz comes all the way from Hawaii to decorate Major General Vandergriff, whose fighting Marines captured the airfield from the Japs and held it against all odds. These are the men who bore the brunt of the battle. Now, with reinforcements newly arrived, they're ready to push on.
Now, you were saying a few minutes ago that over 300 men from your unit were killed during World War II?
Plunging into malaria-infested jungles, the Marines steadily, doggedly enlarged their hold on the island.
Yeah. And in fact, one of them got killed right beside me. He was up on Bloody Ridge. He was a corpsman. We don't have any medical people, so we have to rely on the Navy corpsmen and doctors. And somebody up ahead got hit. We called for a corpsman. This little guy, Billy Smith, he was about 5'6". He come just as he was running by me, a sniper got him. And he was dead by the time they got him back to the first aid place. And it was one of the close calls I had. Also on that ridge, they had, they call them knee mortars, but they were big hand grenades, and one of those darn things lit right beside me and rolled down the hill. Never did go off. I don't know what would have happened if it had gone off. That was one of the close calls.
In all the history of human slaughter, few troops have ever endured such scourging as the Marines on Guadalcanal. The casualties mount from the fighting, from malaria, from dengue, from the rot and corruption of the jungle, which knows not mercy.
After the battle, you could hardly find a blade of grass because they just kept coming. And of course, our artillery is what helped save us because they had a forward observer was with Colonel Addison all night, and I was close enough where I could hear them. Where our artillery was falling just less than 100 yards ahead of us to keep them. Not too many of them could hit us at one time.
advanced base, they enjoy their first rest in weeks. They have the advantage of an uninterrupted supply line, and they get nothing but the best.
We were a great singing outfit. Our songbook.
Can you sing a song?
Well, we are the Raiders from old Quantico, headed for Tokyo. We use special weapons to shoot up the town. Japs will be scattered around. We're headed for nowhere as far as we know, specially trained to fight. So don't get no notions and drink up your lotions. Come on, get into the fight. Get your gun, we got Tojo's sons on the run. Don't let them stop or they'll be back for more. And when they come back, then we'll really get sore. We're saying goodbye to us all. As back to the emperor they crawl. We'll take all their sake. They'll really go wacky. So line up your sights, make them fall.
What do you do to pay tribute to Billy Smith and others in your unit that were killed at Bloody Ridge?
Well, for the last several years at our church, I go to the Baptist church, I usually up there and read off the names. We'll read off the names of the members of the church and friends who passed away. And at that time, I introduced this list of mine. I say this is what Memorial Day means to me. These guys.